I'm excited today to introduce you all to Kirsten Moffler-Dakin from Western Technical College in La Crosse. Last year, Kirsten proposed an ambitious and a thoughtful proposal for our Ideas to Action Fund, and we awarded her $5,000 to help support her efforts. For those who aren't aware, the Ideas to Action Fund is a grant program in which each year Wills and the Wills Board award up to $5,000 to member organizations to help kickstart or expand their project ideas. It's a short application. It's minimal reporting requirements, and we do that on purpose so it's lightweight, so you all can focus on doing the actual work. So far, we've funded 38 projects and invested over $150,000 in our members' ideas since the program launched in 2018. And you might want to start thinking about your project ideas now because the application period opens up April 1st and is open through June 3rd. So that's right around the corner. But today, I'm excited to introduce you to Kirsten, who is going to talk about her project, Blooming with Books. Kirsten Moffler-Dakin currently manages the Learning Commons at Western Technical College and honors trauma-informed, poverty-informed, and culturally responsive academic support and library service programs happening there. She works closely with the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion by serving on the Diversity Action Team and as a strategy team lead for poverty-informed work at Western. Kirsten also serves on the Academic Policies team, is a certified instructional trainer in trauma-informed care, and is an equity, leadership, and anti-racism professional development workshop facilitator. For the first 20 years of her career, Kirsten taught English and speech in secondary, alternative education placement, post-secondary, and multilingual learner programs. She recently completed a doctorate from Northeastern University in curriculum teaching, learning, and leadership, with an emphasis in social justice. A transplant from the greater Boston area, Kirsten and her family have called Western Wisconsin home for 12 years. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kirsten so she can tell you all about her project.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, and thank you so much for the opportunity to pursue this project. And yes, I think that ambitious is a good word, a kind word, perhaps. But I would love to just share with you what we've been working on at Western. So we can maybe advance to the next slide. I took the description of our project from Andy. Andy has been just tremendously helpful for Ellen Range and I as we are looking at this project. And she called our project a creation project that is growing organically. And I really am so thankful for that description, so that it's less a description of maybe just being messy and all over the place. It is planned, it is thoughtful, but yes, there's a lot of things that are taking root organically in how we are reaching our target student populations. Okay, next slide. So the problem that we're trying to solve in part with this project is that our students at Western Technical College in La Crosse and in surrounding communities, our students are coming to us with a very diverse background in educational preparation and foundation skills. We are an open access college or an open enrollment college, which means that we accept every student, which is a wonderfully democratic way to handle higher education. And I am proud to be part of a school that does that. It does mean, though, that there are some challenges for our students and for those of us supporting our students. Low literacy skills and low exposure to reading materials and libraries really do contribute to some of the issues that we see, such as low course completion rates and lower graduation rates, retention rates at our school. Non-traditional students and those diverse experiences in academic settings really do require us to be creative in the way that we support them. English language learning requires more support than what we are currently giving. And so part of this project funded some experimental approaches to that, which I'm excited to share with you. Our students are routed to an academic support system or program that we've developed over the course of the last 5 years. And we've basically taken a K-12 or PK-12 model of intervention and applied that to a higher ed setting. Our only issue really with this is that our students don't necessarily participate at the rate that we would like to see them participate. And so we're needing to find a way to create some community around academic support. And truly, this grant from Wills has allowed us to play around with that, to see what we can create for students, because isolation really does contribute further to people just leaving college, to people trying it for a few weeks, getting overwhelmed, and we never see them again. And certainly can contribute to feelings of imposter syndrome. So many of our students desperately want college to be right for them, even though perhaps they have been told their whole lives that it wasn't. Many of our students are not supported by the people in their lives, and are sort of almost waiting to fail, even though I think so oftentimes are desperate for that not to happen. And so a lot of times imposter syndrome, as many of us know, can really creep in as we are becoming more isolated and worrying about our own performance. And so this grant has really allowed us to open up some opportunities for students to connect with each other and grow in literacy. Okay, next slide, please. Here are key student groups. So we have multilingual learners, parenting students, non-traditional students, neurospicy students, so students who present and identify with a pretty diverse approach to learning and interacting. Health and public safety and human services students, which those areas of our college and the majors that fall under those tend to be the most complex majors for our students to pass. And with human services, our most diverse group of learners and higher need groups of learners tend to gravitate towards that area of study. Students with low foundational literacy, poverty impacted students, trauma impacted students, and also this other group where we would like to be more helpful with our community in really assisting with some language preservation in our area. So those are the targeted groups that we're looking at. And truly, in a lot of our reading groups and literature circles, the students really come from quite a few of those different groups. There's quite a cross section. Okay. So for us, this grant was meeting the need for opportunities to provide some high interest reading groups in our school, to focus on foundational skill building. And for those of us who are educators, we know that the best way to engage learners and to truly instruct is to make it as, least painful as possible, right? So bringing in the fun and bringing in the community, bringing in the food, all that kind of stuff is so important. So we are truly looking for materials to engage individuals, engage community, to reach a diverse group of learners. We are very interested in our culturally responsive approach that encourages students to bring all of those home wisdoms that they grew up learning in their houses or their homes or wherever it is that they were growing up, and in the language, their mother tongue that they were learning that. We want to honor that cultural wealth that students bring with them, to say, you know what, that preparation, you're talking a lot about low foundational skills, right? Low literacy skills. So many students, though, are coming in with high cultural skills, high cultural wealth. And those are just strengths beyond measure. And if we can really encourage that, so oftentimes students will be able to pull from those homegrown truths to really help learn in college, to connect college life with home life. That's so important for our students. Of course, you know what? People love gifts, they love perks. And so this grant has helped us attract students to participate with food and gifts and literacy kits and things like that. And then, of course, we really want to increase exposure to libraries and reading support and academic resources in the Learning Commons. we really want more students to feel like, yes, this is your place. You can come here. Because as warm as we try to be, our library is well, it's very stylish and a little bit cold and beige and not terribly warm from an appearance standpoint. And a lot of students have never felt very comfortable in an environment like this. And so we have quite a bit to do to make this comfortable for folks. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So this was the targeted high interest reading circles. This was our, what we really hoped to accomplish. And we've got several groups that are currently running and a few that we hope to launch soon. I don't need to read all of these to you, but basically that list of student target groups that I had mentioned earlier, we have developed at least one, and in some cases multiple, reading groups and opportunities for each of those targeted groups. So that's something that we've really been working on. And so we've got a few of these that are currently ongoing. So we have summer story time, we have parent-child story hour, we have bilingual or multilingual story times with caregivers as well as children. We have reading circles that are really targeted towards specific classes and specific majors of students. And we have something that's coming up soon. I'm hoping we will start in the summer, but we are still in the talking phase of it. But the language preservation focus for reading circles. So I hope to talk to you a little bit about that in some future slides. Okay. This is the Human Services Reading Circle. This is just a handful of people who have joined this, but we've got about 19 students that participate in this. Basically, Human Services is a program that's very popular at Western. And unfortunately for so many students, reading is a very big challenge for this group. And so the reading materials are often written at a graduate school level, even though most of our students really are reading in this program, and a lot of them in about a 4th to 5th grade reading level, if that. Some are a little lower than that, and of course some are exponentially higher than that. But we are finding ways to really meet students where they are, to process a lot of the materials that they are assigned and to really connect personally with this material. And we are just finding that meeting weekly with this group, the students are much better able to participate in their coursework, to participate in conversation, to keep showing up to class, which is key, and are passing their classes. And our instructors are reporting that they can tell who is regularly participating in this reading circle. And I have to say that one of the reasons that we were able to get such a great turnout is we bought pizza. And so that really has been important to bring that food element in, to really build community, to lure college students into doing something extra. Food always helps, but truly it's a small price to pay for the dividends that we're seeing in this group. Okay, and so some of these things on the slide here, these are the things that this group is working on, and Carrie Grakowski is one of our faculty who is leading this reading circle. And these are really the things that she is working on with this group of readers, this group of learners, and it's just been very beneficial. So we're so happy that it is taking off and continuing. Okay, next. We have learned some surprises in this one, some happy surprises. So on Wednesday and Thursday nights, I've been taking myself to Sparta, which is about 35 minutes from our La Crosse campus here. And we have been holding a multilingual, or in this case in Sparta, a bilingual story time with parents and their caregivers and their children. And we have been working on language building for both children and adults. And so what we're finding is a lot of the kids that come to our group are not speaking Spanish so well. They have definitely adopted English in school. And so this opportunity has created some really nice bonding time between families to grow Spanish and English skills. So English for the adults and Spanish for the children. Okay, next. This is the one that we are working on next, and it's very near and dear to my heart. Western has created a Western Tribal Collaboration Council, and we are in our very early stages, and we're really trying to create a community of partnerships here, particularly with the Ho-Chunk Nation, and trying to find ways that Western can actively engage with this community. Western does occupy the land of the Ho-Chunk people, and we're very eager to make some good connections there. And so one of the things that we're looking at is creating a bilingual story time too, with some Ho-Chunk English storybooks. And so that is in its very early stages, but very excited about that, but also engaging with some language acquisition and language preservation activities in our library. So we are getting ready for an interactive Ho-Chunk English language activity center in our library. So very much looking forward to that. Next, please. Okay. So these are the kinds of things we're buying with the money. A lot of this that work is people-based, but we do need things. And so these are the things that we're looking at. We're creating literacy kits and gifts for parents to take home to read with their kids. A lot of times our student parents do not feel comfortable at standard story time in libraries. Maybe they don't feel like they look like the other parents, or their kids don't behave like the other kids do. And so they avoid it. So these are some things that we're looking at, is creating a comfortable space for them here. And food is super important. I think I've said that a few times. I can't say it enough. Okay, next. Please. Okay, here are some things that we have been buying. And so conchas are very, very, very popular with our kids and our story time, and piñatas and all of this. Pizza, of course, always popular, and activities. That's a lily pad game right there that they love to play with. Floor is lava. That is the best invention I have ever seen in my life. I wish I had those when my kids were little. Okay, next. Mostly we're just interested in, no matter what literature circle we're talking about, keeping it fun, making this a creative time, a community time, social. If we can have balloons and pizza and all that good stuff, then we have it, candy, because so often what we need to do is make learning joyful again for people who maybe have not come with that experience to us. Okay, next. And this is essentially just what you see when you walk into our library now. And so we do have standard library and academic library appearance, but we also have spots in our library that are very obviously populated with kids and projects and things like that. Some people might say, hey, is this really a college library? And the answer is, you bet it is. Libraries look like what the community needs them to look like, right? And so we're really trying to make sure that we're meeting the needs and the expectations and the wishes of the students that we serve. And we're just so thankful to Wills that we were able to work on this project, and that we continue to work on this project. So thank you so much.